I honestly am always inspired when people go out to express their rights, to express their ideas about a democratic future. I think it's way too early to know how this ends. The Islamic Republic of Iran is a very brutal regime, and we know from previous demonstrations, including tragically in 2009, that they used a lot of brutal force to repress these protesters. But something is going on in Iran. It's in many cities. It's not just in the capital, and I think we need to watch very closely what might happen next.
Yeah, the president also watching and tweeting. He tweeted this: that people are finally getting wise as to how their money and wealth is being stolen and squandered on terrorism. Looks like they will not take it any longer. The U.S. is watching very closely for human rights violations. And this is how Senator Lindsey Graham responded on CBS's Face the Nation.
President Trump is tweeting very sympathetically to the Iranian people, but you just can't tweet here. You have to lay out a plan, and if I were President Trump, I'd lay out a plan as to how I would engage the regime. I would tell the Europeans and the Congress and the world that America is going to withdraw from this agreement unless it's a better deal, and I'd lay out what a better deal would look like, and I would stand with the Iranian people the entire time.
And then you have a statement from President Rouhani just in the past hour saying that criticism and protest is a people's right, and goes on to say one who calls the Iranian nation a terrorist does not have a right of compassion for people. Veiled at our President Donald Trump here on that. So do you agree with Lindsey Graham there with that?
Well, I agree that we should stand with the Iranian people and think of ways to support them, and also be careful to not embrace them too much, and so that we somehow delegitimate them. Remember, not everybody in Iran thinks that a tweet from the President of the United States is a good thing, including opposition leaders. But I think it's really wrong to tie together the Iran nuclear deal with the fate of these democratic protests. Maybe there was some relationship in the past, but to somehow for us to bring in our domestic politics, debating whether that Iranian nuclear deal was good or bad, with what's going on the streets of Iran, I think is improper. And there's no evidence whatsoever that the protesters in Iran today are talking about the Iran nuclear deal that we did with the Iranian regime and the 5 other leaders in the P5+1. So separate out those two issues, and hopefully there'll be something that can be done to advance democracy and human rights inside Iran.